My name is Charlotte Watson. I am an operations manager for a shipping company. I retired last year at the age of 60. So now I'm in semi-retirement, whereby I now do claims and learnership programs. So I'm a claims training manager at the moment. I've got 3 children. I've got 1 daughter, 2 sons, and I've got 4 grandchildren. 1 granddaughter and 3 grandsons. Oh, yeah. I went for a normal mammogram, which I do every year. And for some strange reason, which I'm still trying to find out, in 2010, I had an appointment for a mammogram, but for some reason I didn't go. And these were one of the things that was going through my head when Platinum and I started asking for all. I couldn't find a mammogram for 2010. And I just went for the normal checkup, and then the sister said to me, in the x-ray room, I've got to have a seat. And I thought, okay, this is strange. Normally it's just, okay, fine, get dressed, wait there for your results, and off you trot. And then she said that the doctor wanted to see me, so I went into the other room, and the doctor did what is called a scan. And she said there was some tissue, some lump that they're going to have to do a biopsy, send it away, and then let me know. And that's it. I was still not worried, and they did the biopsy 2-3 days later. And then I got a phone call from my doctor to say that I have to come into the surgery. He needs to see me. And alarm bells started ringing, but you know, the alarm bells come and then, you know, that's this, not that. And it sort of comes and goes. And until I sat in that surgery, and he said to me, sorry, I speak with my hands. Until he said to me, they have now diagnosed it as a small lump, and it's cancerous, and it has to be removed. Well, my whole world just fell apart just there and then. Opposite the doctor's rooms is a little shopping centre with a spa, woolies and whatever. And I drove out there, and I drove into that shopping centre, and I don't know how long I sat there. And I bawled my eyes out. I was planning my funeral, and what am I going to tell my children? Why me? What have I done? There are so many thoughts that go through your head that it's inexplainable to anybody unless you're sitting in those shoes. Anyway, eventually I came home, and I didn't say anything to anybody because it was the Easter weekend and we were going camping. So I thought, okay, around the campfire one night I'll tell them. Anyway, it was such a good camp, and it was in high spirits, and I just thought, no, this is not it. And then the doctor said to me that he's made an appointment with the surgeon. I've got to go and see the surgeon. I went to go and see the surgeon, and he says, look, that was the Friday, and he said to me, I have to admit you on the Monday, and I'm going to do the procedure, cut it out, whatever has to be done, the lumpectomy. Obviously, this is now like nearly a month later, and I had no choice but to tell the children now. So I sent them all an email, and I said, please meet me here tonight, and I need to speak to you guys. And my son still joked, he says, are you going to tell us how much my inheritance is? And I just went back, I says, yeah, don't worry, you've borrowed so much, there's nothing left for you, so, you know. And I left it, and then they came here the Friday night, and we joked around, and eventually I said, look, guys, let's get serious. This is the situation, and I'm going in on Monday, and they're going to do the op and all sorts of things. And they did that, and yeah, I came out fine.
How did they take that news?
My daughter was devastated. The youngest son was, the middle child was the calmer one. He sort of calmed everybody down, and he said, no, look, you know, it's not any more life-threatening, it's not the big C anymore, let's just relax, let's just take it calm, let's just take one day at a time. And then we went away for the weekend, came back on the Sunday, Monday I went into hospital. And my daughter phoned, I think the only people she didn't phone was the president and the Pope. She phoned the church, she phoned all the friends and the family, and you know, this is it now. And then when our priest phoned, he said to me, I think your daughter needs counseling more than you because you sound so upbeat. I've been through all those emotions, and I just decided that it was not going to get me down. From planning my funeral to doing my will to just saying, you know what, to hell with this. This is not the end of the line for me. I've come this far. I'm going to Edgar's and I'm going to get new bedding and blah, blah, blah. So if I'm in bed, people come visit me, I'm going to look smart and, you know, stupid things like that. but it's an emotional roller coaster because you're up one day, down the next, up and down, and eventually you get over it, and you learn to live with it. You know, obviously life is not as fast anymore. You got to take things a little slower, but yeah, I'm alive, I'm breathing, and as long as I wake up every morning and I'm breathing, I'm happy. I've gone for my 6 weeks of radiation, which was fine until the last 2 weeks in that very bad radiation burn. I got over that, and yeah, I'm back.
Okay. And now, after your radiation, you went for the checkups,
Yes.
the routine checkups?
I went for the routine checkups, and I'm on some pill called Pamtar or something to that effect. I'm not good with names. And the oncologist put me on that, and that is for a year. So tomorrow I've got my checkup with her again, and then she'll say whether I continue with those tablets or whether she takes me off. Because that is the estrogen removing tablet, because my cancer apparently is estrogen dependent. It feeds off estrogen. So it removes the estrogen from my body so that the cancer can't be fed and obviously continue to go through my body. But the scan that I had, the nuclear scan, that came out clear. So, and that gave me so much hope that I just, you know what, this is it. You know, it's not going to get me down. The cost is the oncologist. The oncologist costs everything you pay up front, and that is 2,500 Rand per visit. And a visit is not even 5 minutes. You walk in there, she sits you down and she says, how are you? Any aches, any pains, any complaints? Nothing, no, fine, see you in a month's time, cheers, goodbye, sign. 2,500 Rand. That to me was the shocker of my life. And you know that and then you got to go once a week, because you go once a week for radiation. After radiation, you go and see her. So every Thursday, that was my routine there, and it's 2,500 Rand that you got to pay up front. And then of course the medical aid assessors, depending if you've got funds, which last year ran out like water, because I mean you got to pay for everything, chronic medication, everything. It just ran out. So that, you know, obviously it depletes your funds. I'm in bed one day and it suddenly dawned on me that in 2010 there was this email going around. My daughter sent it to me because she got it from a friend of a friend, and this cancer policy, Platinum Life. And I got out of bed and I looked through my papers and I saw, here's a cancer policy. And that's when I sort of phoned the lady and I said, listen, I don't know what to do. This has now happened. How do I go about, what do I submit, what do I... And then she said to me, all the tests and the mammograms and doctor's reports and the oncologist report and everything, I just got to send that all through to her. And that's what I did, and that's when I discovered that in 2010, I had every mammogram except for 2010. 2011, I had 2009, 8, 7, you go back, I've got all of those except for 2010. And in 2010, our doctor moved, so I also got a new doctor. In 2009, I got a new doctor, which moved in here because our doctor moved. So it was a bit of a performance, but eventually they paid out the money. And from there onwards, I was actually astounded and embarrassed by the support that Platinum Life gave. You know, I would get this phone call and say, what size shoe do you wear? And what? Yeah, what size shoe do you wear? I'd say a size 4. What size clothing do you wear? And I'd say I'm a medium. And I'm thinking, what? And then they'd send me something else again. Either for a spa or a Pick n Pay voucher. And then it was some facial stuff, body washes. And I'm thinking, every time the woman says, it's so-and-so from Platinum, I think, oh my God, what are they going to send me now? Please stop, you know. It just, I can't explain it, but it actually became embarrassing after a while, because what have I done to deserve this? You know, all I did was get cancer, which I didn't want, but happened. And yeah, it was actually a very pleasant experience through Platinum Life. It was something that, you know, it's one of these things that go around. You take the policy. If it happens, you know, if it doesn't, it doesn't. And it actually made me take stock of all the policies of over the years that we've taken, you know, accident cover, insurance for this, insurance, and some of those things are absolutely useless. Because if you look at it, you've got a double up with an accident cover. So if you die in an accident, you know, this one's going to pay you $2,500, this one's going to pay you this. And if you just, you know, it was useless. And I've actually cancelled quite a few of those. But I was at home and I just thought about this Platinum Life thing. I'm sure somewhere something, a cancer policy came up. And yeah, it was amazing. It was an experience that I had never ever dreamt of. And people tend to tell me that I'm a very strong person. I'm a very independent person, that I know. And I'm very positive. I will go into, like I said, I went into the slump where I said, now why me, what have I done, let's plan my funeral, you know, if something happens, and I'll come out of the anesthetic, because I am petrified of anesthesia. What happens, this is what I want done, and then I thought, to hell with this. I've been through a divorce, I've been through the death of my husband, I've been through so many other little crises in my life. I've raised 3 children. Why must this get me down? This is just, it's God-given illness, and if God gave it to you, He will not give you more than what you can handle. So prayer and a positive attitude, that is what got me through this whole upheaval. You know, it was an eye-opener. It was because, and I thought in the beginning that because I was boasting when I went on retirement, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm still going to do this and that and everything else. And maybe that's why God said, listen, you know what, it's not all in your hands. It's what I want for you. It may sound cheesy, but these are the thoughts that go through your mind when you're lying in that bed all alone and you're thinking, sure. And then you lie in hospital, and then these people that had their breasts removed, and they're worse off than you, and then, who am I to complain? I've just had a lump taken out. That woman had a whole breast removed. Now she's in a worse position, and you cannot speak to somebody like that, because they are so deep in that dark little corner that it's actually a scary place to be. And you can sympathize with her, but you also stay away from her, because you can't give positive advice at that stage in your life. You've now got to think of yourself, get yourself out of that dark hole, and just carry on. You know, the one mistake we must never do is say we'll never get anything. Because cancer it's not contagious, but it's a little enemy that lives in your body. It's there. Every one of us have got the cancer germ, for want of a better word. Some of them are just awakened earlier than others. And like mine was detected very early. Some of us, we become blasé. We don't have our mammograms. We don't have our pap smears. We don't have the normal things. You know, I'm only 30, I'm only 40, I'm only 50, I'm okay, I'm healthy, I'm going to have it next year, I'm going to have it the year after. And little things like that. We've got to, as women, make sure that you do your normal yearly tests, your mammograms, your pap smears, whatever it takes to just ensure that you stay in that healthy frame of mind. Because if I hadn't done my mammograms on an annual basis, I would have woken up and it would have been too late. It could have either killed me, or I could have lost the breast completely, and it would have been even more devastating than just having the lump and having the lump removed. So my advice to all women is, when you reach a certain age, you will know whether it's 35 or 40, depending on your family history, go and have your annual checkups. That's the only thing that saves us. The earlier detected, the earlier it can be treated, and the longer we can live. Praise God, I hope so. But yeah, you know, you gotta have your checkups. It's of vital importance. My daughter turned 36, and I made her go for a mammogram last year. And it's the same thing, June, both of us are going, and then, you know, see what the result is, because it is genetically transferred from one. It skips a generation, skips two, might skip none, but it is there.